The Silent House. Chapter 1. The Uninvited Neighbor. As I stepped onto the porch of my new home, a chill ran down my spine despite the warmth of the summer evening. The old Victorian house, with its peeling paint and overgrown gardens, seemed to lean in as if listening intently. A sense of unease settled within me, but it couldn't compare to the excitement of finally moving out of the dorms and starting fresh at college. I had always dreamed of living close to campus for my senior year, and here I was, standing outside what would be my humble abode until graduation. The realtor assured me that 142 Maple Street was a quiet neighborhood with friendly neighbors, a promise I'd soon question. The neighbor on the right, an older man with graying hair, watched from behind curtains as I unloaded boxes. His gaze lingered too long for comfort. It made my skin crawl, but I brushed it off as mere curiosity. As night fell and darkness crept in, so did a sense of isolation. Shadows cast by the flickering streetlights seemed to stretch and twist unnaturally across the walls. The house was old and settled. That's all. It would settle into its new tenant. But when I reached for my phone to call roommates Rachel and Jake, realizing it was dead, unease pitted in my stomach. The first night brought whispers. Faint, indistinct voices echoed from upstairs. A low hum at first, then muffled conversations that sounded like a dozen murmurs swirled together. Yet no one seemed present. I rubbed my eyes as if sleep deprivation played tricks on me. The next evening, they returned. Whispers and creaks emanated from the floor above. Not footsteps, but an unseen movement. A chill crept through me each time it happened. Shadows danced across walls when no breeze blew through open windows. In a place like this, I expected no more than strange, settling sounds, perhaps some eccentric habits of my neighbor, Mr. Jenkins, and his peculiar silence. Days blended into weeks as routine set in. Classes, assignments, and an odd familiarity with the house's creaks. One evening, while studying late, I felt an icy draft brush past me. I glanced up to find the window on the second story shut tight. Then again, it was open a sliver. A shiver coursed down my spine as moonlight cast eerie silhouettes of faces, features indistinguishable but watching me. I'd imagined them gone when daylight broke, but they lingered until dawn, too far away to reach. I should have been grateful for these solaces. The house's quirks were a minor price to pay for independence. One night, as the sun dipped into darkness, I settled in with a glass of wine and a book on my small balcony overlooking Maple Street. The man from next door sat motionless by his window. I'd never seen him up close before. He wasn't just watching me. He was observing with an intensity that made my heart skip beats. His eyes locked onto mine, the first time we've ever met, and he vanished into the gloom. I shrugged it off as paranoia. The night air clung heavy and silent, a stillness so unnatural that even crickets paused in their serenade. As I turned to close the balcony door, a cold spot enveloped my neck. It wasn't possible. This house couldn't be haunted. And yet, Chapter 2. The Disappearing Hours. Two weeks passed with no other incidents. Perhaps I'd imagined them all, but for Mr. Jenkins' watchful gaze. At night, his window remained lit as if waiting, an unblinking eye in the darkness. My research assignments consumed me during days. Nights became a battle between curiosity and sanity. A few hours of study time was stolen when I stumbled upon strange documents amidst the attic's trunk. Old newspapers, cryptic letters tied with twine. The writing spoke of a boy who vanished under the house. His spirit never found, yet whispers persisted in the night. No matter how hard I tried to push them away, these tales intertwined with my life like an unsettling, whispering gallery. That evening, Rachel and Jake invited themselves over. Laughter, wine, and reminiscing filled our little space until it was late. As they departed, I felt the time gap, a disorienting sensation of hours missing. Just enough for a nap, surely. But when I checked my phone, only yesterday's text awaited me. Days began to blur. Memories became fragments, each day blending into the next. Hours vanished as if stolen by an invisible thief. Jenkins' gaze was no longer just persistent. It now felt like surveillance. I searched my room for some clue, but found none. Outside, he watched me from shadows beneath his tree-lined porch, a sentinel waiting patiently. One evening, lost in my research and the eerie atmosphere, I stumbled upon an article dated decades ago, a child taken from Maple Street. The stories merged with the whispers, echoing through these walls. Perhaps they were connected. Desperate to understand, I ventured out under starlight. Jenkins appeared by his door, eyes glowing like lanterns as he opened it wide enough for me to slip inside. His apartment was a time capsule of dusty artifacts and newspaper clippings, vintage technology and news reports. An old man with sunken eyes met my gaze. His voice rasped when speaking, a low rumble. "Welcome home, child." "Child?" I protested. He vanished as suddenly as he appeared. Back in my room, a photo caught my eye. The 1950s picture of James, the lost boy from the clippings. His eyes mirrored those I'd seen tonight. The attic called to me, drawing me up steep stairs and into the heart of this mystery. An open trunk revealed a diary. James' words were my own. Lost in time, he spoke of a silent house with an occupant waiting for him. A chill crept over me as I closed it. My reflection stared back from the mirror, a ghostly echo of James's picture. In that moment, I knew I was trapped. The next morning, hours gone. Yesterday felt a lifetime away. Another day, more hours slipped into thin air, and Mr. Jenkins awaited outside. Chapter 3. The Final Reflection. I stood before him now, my voice barely audible. "You're the one watching me." His eyes reflected moonlight as he stepped forward, an ethereal glow surrounding him like in that photograph long past. He whispered a name, "Sarah," and I heard it clear as day despite no lips moving. In a silent plea for answers, I asked for my own. The air thickened, his form shimmered, and our reflections merged into one. The mirror behind us, a window to the past. It wasn't the house, it was him. I realized with dawning horror that James had been absorbed by Mr. Jenkins in 1955, the silent occupant. As our eyes met, an unsettling truth dawned on me. He needed a replacement. In this timeless realm between worlds, we found each other. His hands, pale and age-spotted, held my face as the attic's whispers coalesced into words, a chorus of lost souls, their stories etched in his being. The diary had brought us together. Now I was part of it too. Sarah, a spirit like them all. Mr. Jenkins, James in a man's form, vanished decades ago, leaving behind this mirror portal between realms. There I saw fragments, his childhood, the loss, his entrapment by something ancient and hungry for life. When he spoke to me, each word was a weight on my mind, a language beyond speech. His heartbreak, my own fears echoed back in that echoing room. I faced myself, a reflection with eyes aglow like his, and saw truth. I'd come full circle. In the attic, time collapsed. I had to set things right. My hands touched the pages of James' life, and as a woman in the photograph materialized beside us, she spoke. Sarah. Her tale merged with mine. Together we held up the mirror's frame, shattering it. The silent house breaking free from centuries of capture. We emerged into the living world on Maple Street. Mr. Jenkins greeted me, an old man once more, a life reclaimed. In his stead, I stood among my trunks. My life before, or was it after? There were no questions. All I could do was return that stolen childhood. Be James, live with Sarah, and close the mirror's door forever. End this cycle. My reflection stared back, the last to remain, waiting for peace. They took turns walking away, into different worlds, a final nod as one before we diverged, parting ways on the stairs. The diary, a single page remained. I read James' ending, and so they walked out. We were free now, the silent house still and full of dreams yet to be written.